All right, everybody, welcome to Entrepreneur Dojo. I'm Dave Espino. This is James Renuff,
Hi.
and we're excited tonight to share with you just some of the things that we do online, that we do on the internet, ways to make money, online marketing techniques, making money online. We're making money from home, working from home. That's our thing. That's what we've been doing forever. And that's what we're here to teach and show you and help you with as well. So today I thought I would share interesting opportunity where I made about $45,000. Now the numbers may be off by 1,000 or two here and there, okay, but it was about $45,000, and I just on one transaction on eBay. And so a lot of people know that I was on an infomercial and I was teaching people how to sell on eBay, right? I had a eBay course that we sold on TV, and I was fortunate to reach a huge number of people, about 700,000 people selling that course, and it was an amazing experience. Well, I was visiting a friend of mine, because a lot of you know that I buy and sell these little Hot Wheels cars from the 60s, right? I was visiting a friend of mine to talk to him about Hot Wheels cars, and he's like, hey, you should check out, this car I have. I might be wanting to sell it. So we go in his garage, and it turns out, even though he's in this little small house, now my friend was single, still is, but he was in this little small house. He had a 3-car garage. Okay. So his garage was bigger than his house, actually. And it was in this neighborhood. If anybody knows Paramount, California, not the greatest neighborhood in the world either. So he takes me into the back in the garage, and I see this 1969 Mustang Mach 1 fastback. And I'm like, wow, this thing is nice. It was kind of rough, though. It was a maroon color. And he goes, yeah, it's been in a fire. I had a fire here in the garage. And so it had like smoke damage on the paint, that kind of thing. And he told me that he was going to be moving and he needed storage for all of his toys. Now, when I say toys, I mean toys, not man toys, little kid toys, because he's a collector, right? Collects all these vintage toys. And I happen to have a warehouse back then, and he goes, how about if I trade you this car for storage space in your warehouse for a year? And I'm like, done. I had the extra space, and we went ahead and said, I don't know if it was 1 year or 2 years, it might have been 2 years. And so he actually built like a whole enclosure in the back of my warehouse, and he stuffed it full of his collectible toys. And then he started selling toys out of there. Long story short, I ended up with this 1969 Mustang, and started working on it and everything. But when I saw that car, I looked at, there was another car next to it under a car cover, and I go, what's under that cover? And he's like, you know what? I'd rather not say. And I'm like, really? I thought we were friends, right? And it was like,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, he goes, all right, let me show you. So he pulls the car cover open, and it's a Shelby GT 500, a 1969 Shelby GT 500, which, if people are car people or not, it's a very rare race-inspired car, very legendary, and there were probably about 1,700 of those made in
Wow.
1969. And I'm like, what? You've got a Shelby in here? Are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I'm not selling it, just, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, we ended up, doing the trade, and everything worked out fine. A little later, I was kind of bugging him about the car. I'm just like, hey, if you ever sell that car, let me know. And so one day he let me know, and he said, yeah, I'm willing to sell it. So I ended up buying this Shelby GT 500. Let me show you a picture of it really quick. It's right here. If you can see that, it's the blue car.
Wow, that almost
And
looks like a Hot Wheels car.
it does, right? Yeah. So this blue car, and you can notice here on the stripe, there's smoke damage, because this car was also in the fire. And the only smoke damage was really on this stripe, because the stripe was like a vinyl stripe. Anyway, so I ended up buying this car from him for $38,000. Now, like I said, these are rare cars. They're incredibly fast for their time. And the thing about Shelby's is they were designed and created by Carroll Shelby, who's a legendary race car driver, legendary car designer, and that kind of thing. And so it had like the 3-point harness, had a roll cage inside. I mean, it was designed for speed, right? And so the bottom line about this car is it's very hard to find. It's very rare. And I used to drive down like Pacific Coast Highway, on these days when I just wanted to get away. And I would drive down PCH out in Orange County near Newport Beach. And this one time I stopped at a light, and the car on the opposite light going the other direction stopped, and that was a Lamborghini. And as I'm driving by the Lamborghini, I'm staring at the Lamborghini, and they're staring at the Shelby. And I was like, this is cool. So, and then another day, I took my team out to lunch in this car, and we were in traffic. And the lady that was next to us in the opposite lanes of traffic, she's like, one of my people that was helping me, that was in my business. He goes, I just read her lips. That lady just said, "That's a mother effing Shelby." So that's how legendary the car was. And for me, it wasn't about like owning the car. It was really about the raw power and speed that this thing had. I mean, I used to be able to screech the tires in third gear, which is pretty amazing, right? And so anyway, long story short, came time that I had to sell the car. When the infomercial kind of started to go the other way, it wasn't as profitable anymore. Had to start selling some things off. And when I sold it, I put it up on eBay. And here's the amazing story of this car. So I put it up on eBay. I think I put it for 90,000 or something like that.
Wow. Now, what year
Yeah.
was this?
This must have been around 2010 or 2011.
And
Yeah.
why did you specifically choose eBay?
Well,
Other than eBay, but
yeah, because actually I had experience selling cars on eBay, and I had always gotten really good deals, really good prices for my cars. So I had bought and sold cars. I've like we said in the beginning of the show, James, in the first episodes, we've probably bought and sold anything you can imagine on the internet,
yeah.
you and I, right? And so I've actually flipped quite a few cars on eBay and done
Wow.
really well. And this car wasn't exactly like the best. It wasn't like showroom quality to take it to a Barrett Jackson auction or something like that. It was more like something you could put up on eBay. Well, I put up for 90,000 and got a lot of interest, a lot of people emailing me. But one person in particular says, he emails me and he says, "I think my brother might have owned this car." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." He goes, "No, I think that my brother might have owned this specific VIN number car." And
Wow.
I'm like, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, let me dig up the registration." So the VIN number, because we always have to input our VIN number when we put a car up on sale on eBay. VIN number matched his brother's registration from the 70s. And we started in conversations. Now he was in Florida and his brother was in Texas. And he says, we ended up making a call. And he says, "Yeah, my brother used to drive this thing and drag race it in Huntington Beach, California, like back in the day.
Wow.
And it was like the king, it was the king shit of the street. And people were in awe of it." And I'm like, "You're kidding me. This is amazing." He goes, "We've been looking for this car to show up for years, decades, and they found it." And so that started a conversation about, negotiating the price and that kind of thing. I think I ended up selling for like 84,000. I think that was the number
To them?
to them. Yeah. Yep. Which was awesome, right? It was like a great, like if it had to go to somebody, at least it went to somebody like that where they could really treasure it and appreciate it. But so all told, I had 38,000 into the car to buy it. And then I probably paid about another $3,000 to fix it, because when I first bought it, it wasn't running. We had to trailer it over to my warehouse. And I had my friend Steve Strope. Steve is a famous car builder in Simi Valley, California. He's even had his own TV show about building cars. He's built some award winners, like at the Riddler Show and the National Roadster Show. He builds muscle cars for people that like they'll pay like 150 to $300,000 to build like just a masterpiece of a car. So he and his team worked on it, got it running like beautifully, and because it had sat for a long time. And then I got to enjoy it for several years, and it was just an amazing, amazing experience to drive this thing. And then sold it on eBay for 84,000 to one of the original owners. And
That's incredible.
yeah, that's the story of the Shelby GT500. I also had one of the things that Shelby owners do is they get the glove compartment door signed by Carroll Shelby. So I was fortunate before he passed away to send it in to Carroll Shelby. He had a deal where if you paid him X amount to sign it, he would give that money to his charity, which he had a charity. And so it even has his autograph on the glove compartment door. But yeah, amazing experiences with that car. Amazing times. I remember taking my two sons, putting them in the back seat, and going to a deserted parking lot and doing donuts in it. They love that. And so
that's amazing. Like when I feel like I knew everything about you and eBay, I mean, I had no idea. I was impressed with you selling the toy cars. This is something else.
yeah, I've probably sold about a dozen real cars and made really good profits on every one of them, except maybe one. I think one we just broke even. But I who was really knowledgeable about buying and flipping cars. He had put himself through college by buying and flipping cars, and he was my bird dog. I was the investor. He was the bird dog. He would find them. He would track them down on Auto Trader or wherever, and we'd go negotiate a deal and buy them and do whatever it needed to be done to the car. Usually just cosmetic, minor things, and flip them on eBay. And this one time, I was coming back from on a Sunday evening, taking my family out to dinner. We're coming home, and I see a white Olds Cutlass sitting by the side of this fairly major street, and I'm like, "Dang, that thing better have a for sale sign on it." And sure enough, as we passed it, it had a for sale sign. So I pulled over, and I called the number, and I go, "Hey, I'm very interested in your car," because I think it had a price on it, like $2,400. So I called my friend Doug, and I go, "Hey, Doug, I got an Olds Cutlass, 69 Olds Cutlass. It looks really clean. It's like a grandma car, you know, 2,400. I go, "Do you know what that would go for?" He goes, "God, we should at least double our money on that." I'm like, "Okay." So I called the guy up. It's like 9 p.m. And I go, "Hey, I'd really like to see the car. Any chance I could see it tonight?" And he's like, "Well," he goes, "I don't know. You could see it tomorrow. There's a couple of guys coming to see it tomorrow." I'm like, "I'd really like to see it tonight. I'm right here. I could give you cash, whatever." And he's like, "Okay." So he comes out. We make the deal that night. Give him 2,400. And my friend Doug lived in the same city. And so we ended up just doing minor cleanup on the car and flipping it for 5,400 bucks. Yeah, so we turned 2,400 into 5,400.
Wow.
Flipping it on eBay.
It's amazing what you can do if you just put your mind to something, and you're taking something that's local and you're putting it to the world, and you can get a better price for it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the story of the $4,500. It was about 4,500. It was something like $4,500. I'm sorry, $45,000 profit on this one car.
Wow. And it's not only did you get the profit, but you got to use it for a while.
Yeah, that's the fun part. What I loved about flipping cars is I got to drive them and enjoy them, and then flip them, and then buy another one. I even got to. I don't have a picture of it, but I even bought a lowrider one time, and being Hispanic, it's always been a dream of mine to own a lowrider, even though I don't really come from that culture. But so my friend Doug, he found this lowrider for, let me try to remember the exact, I think it was 50, it was $5,600, something like that. Okay. Lowrider with hydraulics and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And we made the deal, and then I listed it on eBay. I took these amazing photos of it. We used to have this beautiful park where we take pictures of the cars and make them really look great. And this car sold for $8,500 to a guy in Pennsylvania, I think, on the East Coast. He lived near Amish country. So,
So a
so
lowrider in Amish country.
I'm just like, I'm laughing at the thought of this guy doing the hydraulics in Amish country. But his girlfriend bought the car for him, and I told him she's a keeper. She bought that lowrider for you.
Wow, that's cool. All the, not just the money and stuff like that, but just kind of the stories and
The
the
stories,
times that
yeah.
you had. That's pretty cool. When you can, it's not just about, the flipping. It was some pretty cool experiences you had there too.
Yeah, it's been amazing, and I could go on and on about the different cars and everything, but it's where I was able to link my passion for cars to something fun that I could do and I could flip. And I've often thought that back then I should have really got serious about just doing that. Like that could have been my business,
Yeah.
And but I think I'm in the right place now for sure with where I'm at right now. But it was fun. I'm gonna probably do it again. I don't see as many of those cars here in Idaho. And by the way, living in California, by the way, is a big plus because collectors like California cars because it's a dry climate, no rust, none of that salt, that they have to put on the roads and everything. So there's very little, most of the cars in California are rust free or, salt damage free and that kind of thing. So that was a big selling point. I just happen to live there and
Right.
happen to find those good cars. But
And all that population too, and
yeah,
uh,
population
like,
makes it easier to find the cars, like just on the street or in the auto trader or whatever. But the key thing we learned there, as in any flipping, is you'd never steal in slow motion. You grab it when you can, because
yeah.
that guy with the white the Olds Cutlass, he was going to sell the car the next day. I knew it, and that's why I pushed him. I go, can I look at it tonight? Can I? Yeah, I got cash. I'm ready. I can buy it tonight. And had I just said, oh yeah, I'll come by tomorrow, nah, that deal would
Sorry,
have
it's
been gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great story, man.
Thanks.
It's inspiring. Just again, opening up my mind and everyone else's mind that's watching. That there's just so many ways to skin the cat, if you will. It's not. Some people are just like they're so focused, and it's great to be focused in terms of getting something done. But you
Right.
should also have your mind open that there's 100 ways to skin a cat. There's so many different ways you can make money, and there's just another way that you can
Lots of
actually.
opportunities, so many opportunities to make money online. And in one of the next episodes, I'm going to share with you how I made $20,000 selling this on eBay.
Wow, I want to be a part of that.
Little open loop tease for that one. Yeah, 20
Awesome.
grand selling Excedrin on eBay, selling legal drugs.
Dave Espino selling drugs online. That's that's the next title. How Dave Espino made X amount of money selling drugs online. Cool.
Yep. So
Well, yeah, this is a great episode, Dave. I appreciate you sharing that.
absolutely. Yeah. So I guess it's time to wrap up. I'm gonna make sure, let's make sure that you comment, you like, you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll be bringing you this kind of content. We're going to be bringing you interviews. We're going to be teaching strategies, all kinds of things to make sure that you get on your way and you start making the money that you deserve online as well. So thanks everybody
Awesome.
for joining us.
Thank you.